The person everyone remembers from the room. The one who barely spoke, didn't smile too easily, didn't explain themselves, didn't ask for permission to exist. You felt them before you saw them, and you couldn't explain why. That wasn't charm. That wasn't luck. That wasn't genetics. That was aura, and not just any aura, the dangerous kind. The kind that makes people hesitate before they speak to you. The kind that makes them choose their words carefully. The kind that earns respect before you've said a single syllable. And here's the brutal truth no one wants to admit. You don't have it, not yet, because right now you walk into rooms and disappear. You speak and people talk over you. You give everything, your time, your energy, your loyalty, and still somehow you're the one being overlooked, dismissed, forgotten. You've been playing by the wrong rules, trying to be liked instead of being felt, trying to be agreeable instead of being undeniable. And the world has been punishing you for it quietly, consistently, ruthlessly. But what if that ends today? What if there's a psychological architecture to presence that Robert Greene understood a long time ago? A blueprint for building the kind of aura that doesn't beg for attention, but commands it. The kind that makes manipulation slide off you like water. The kind that turns silence into sovereignty. That's what I'm going to break down for you today. Not theory, not motivation, a weapon. But understand this first. Once you see how aura is constructed, you'll never unsee it. You'll start noticing who has it, who fakes it, and how easily the masses surrender to those who've mastered it. Stay until the end, because the final principle is the one that changes everything, and most people will never hear it. The psychology of fear and fascination. Let's begin with what aura actually is, because most people get this wrong. Aura is not confidence. Confidence can be faked. Aura cannot. Aura is not aggression. Aggression is loud. Aura is silent. Aura is the space between what people see and what they don't understand. It's the gap between your surface and your depths. And that gap, when constructed correctly, becomes magnetic, unsettling, dangerous. Robert Greene wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can touch." Read that again. Everyone can see, few can touch. This is the foundation. People don't respond to who you are. They respond to what they perceive you to be. And perception is not about truth. It's about theater, strategic theater. The dangerous aura is built on a paradox. You must appear calm yet feel unpredictable. You must seem controlled yet suggest something uncontrollable beneath the surface. You must be present yet somehow unreachable. This isn't contradiction. This is tension, and tension is what holds attention. Think about the people who've made you nervous. Not violent people, not loud people. The quiet ones. The ones who smiled, but it didn't reach their eyes. The ones who listened more than they spoke. The ones who made you feel like they knew something you didn't. That's the aura. And it's engineered, not inherited. First principle, become unreadable. The moment someone can predict you, they stop respecting you. This is psychological law. Uncertainty creates value. Certainty creates contempt. When people know exactly what you'll say, how you'll react, what you'll tolerate, they stop seeing you as a threat. They start seeing you as furniture. Robert Greene understood this intimately. He wrote, "A prince must take great care that nothing goes out of his mouth, which is not full of the above-named 5 qualities. And to see and hear him, he should seem to be all mercy. Faith, integrity, humanity, and religion." Notice what he didn't say. He didn't say be those things. He said seem, appear, project. Why? Because the moment you reveal everything, you become controllable. Predictable minds are puppet minds, and puppets don't build dangerous auras. So here's what you do. Stop explaining yourself. Every explanation is a confession. A confession that you need their understanding. A confession that their opinion has power over you. The dangerous don't explain. They act and let interpretation fill the silence. Stop reacting immediately. Pause. Let the silence stretch. Most people rush to fill awkwardness. You let it breathe. You let them squirm. Because the one who controls the pace controls the frame. Stop sharing your plans. Your next move should be invisible until it's already happened. When people ask what you're working on, smile. Change the subject. Give them nothing, because mystery is not the absence of information. It's the presence of implication. The dangerous aura requires psychological restraint, not coldness, restraint. You feel everything, you just don't broadcast everything. And that gap, the space between what you experience and what you reveal, that's where your power lives. Second principle, own your presence. Physically, your body speaks before your mouth opens. This isn't metaphor, this is neuroscience. Within milliseconds of seeing you, people's brains have already categorized you. Threat or non-threat, leader or follower, someone to respect or someone to dismiss. And you've been failing that test. Not because you're weak, because you've never been taught how the game works. The dangerous aura is physical. First, slow down. Everything, your walk, your gestures, your speech. Speed signals anxiety. It signals that you're trying to keep up with something outside yourself. The powerful move like time bends around them. Every motion is intentional. Every pause is chosen. Take up space, not aggressively, deliberately. Plant your feet wider. Keep your hands visible and still. Stop the self-soothing gestures touching your face. Crossing your arms, fidgeting with objects. These are signals of internal chaos. The dangerous seem still even in motion. Hold eye contact longer than comfortable. This is where most people fail. Eye contact is a dominance negotiation. When you look away first, you've submitted. When you hold just a beat too long, you've established something primal, something wordless, something that makes them remember you. Breathe deeper. Most anxiety lives in shallow breathing. When you slow your breath, you slow your nervous system, and people sense that. They sense calm the same way they sense fear. It radiates. Robert Greene would never have written about this directly. He was speaking to princes, not to the individual psychology of presence, but everything he taught was about the projection of power. And power projection starts in the body before it ever reaches strategy. Your physical presence is your first weapon. Sharpen it. Third principle, master strategic unpredictability. Here's where we go darker. Consistency is the enemy of dangerous aura. Being reliably kind makes you easy to exploit. Being reliably angry makes you easy to manipulate. Being reliably anything makes you a known quantity. And known quantities are never feared. The dangerous ones, you never quite know what they'll do. This doesn't mean chaos. Chaos is weakness with volume. This means calculated inconsistency. Be warm sometimes, cold others, generous one moment, withholding the next. Not randomly strategically based on what serves your position. Robert Greene wrote, "Men are so simple of mind, and so much dominated by their immediate needs, that a deceitful man will always find plenty who are ready to be deceived." He wasn't teaching cruelty. He was teaching awareness. The awareness that most people are running on autopilot, reacting to patterns, expecting consistency. When you break the pattern, you shatter their confidence in predicting you. And here's the deeper truth. Unpredictability isn't about manipulation. It's about maintaining sovereignty over yourself. The moment you become consistent for someone else's comfort, you've given them the blueprint to your psyche. You've handed them the keys. Keep the keys. Be kind when it's unexpected. Be silent when they expect engagement. Be absent when they assume your presence. Let them wonder. Let them theorize. Let them talk about you when you're not in the room, because that's where aura actually lives, not in the room with you. In the conversations about you when you're gone, in the mental real estate you occupy in their heads. Fourth principle, develop emotional sovereignty. The person who controls their emotions controls the room. The person who loses their emotions loses everything. This is non-negotiable. Every time someone triggers you, they've proven they have access to your internal state. Every time you react emotionally to insult, rejection, or disrespect, you've advertised your vulnerabilities. And in the game of power, advertised vulnerabilities become exploited vulnerabilities. Robert Greene was brutal about this. He understood that rulers who were emotionally reactive became puppets of whoever knew how to provoke them. The dangerous aura requires what I call emotional sovereignty. Not suppression, sovereignty. Suppression is pretending you don't feel. That's fragile. That cracks under pressure. Sovereignty is feeling fully while choosing your response. It's watching your anger rise and deciding it doesn't serve you to express it. It's feeling disrespected and recognizing that your reaction is the only thing that gives the disrespect meaning. The dangerous mind operates on a delay. Input happens, emotion arises. But between the emotion and the response is a gap, and in that gap lives your freedom. When someone insults you, don't react. Watch them. Let silence do the violence. Most people can't handle the absence of your reaction. They'll escalate. They'll explain. They'll fill the void. And every second they spend trying to provoke you, they're proving that your non-reaction has disturbed them more than any comeback ever could. This is psychological warfare, and you've been losing it because you didn't know you were playing. Now you know. The dangerous aura is built on the discipline of non-reactivity. Not because you're passive, but because you're so internally sovereign that external chaos cannot penetrate your core. People sense that, they feel it, and they step carefully around those who possess it. Fifth principle, cultivate controlled mystery. Every word you speak is an investment. Most people are terrible investors. They talk about their problems, their insecurities, their fears, their ambitions, their vulnerabilities to anyone who will listen. They treat conversation like therapy, and in doing so they drain all mystery from their presence. The dangerous aura requires information asymmetry. You should know more about them than they know about you. Always listen more than you speak. When you do speak, make it count. Reveal only what serves your position. Let them assume. Let them project. Let them fill in the gaps with their imagination, because what they imagine is always more powerful than what you could tell them. Robert Greene wrote, "The vulgar crowd always is taken by appearances, and the world consists chiefly of the vulgar." Harsh. Yes, true, absolutely. People don't want the full truth about you. They want a story they can tell themselves. When you give them too much, you've written the story for them. When you give them fragments, they become authors of a narrative you control through omission. This is not about lying. It's about strategic disclosure. You share your victories sparingly. You hide your struggles completely. You reveal your thoughts selectively. You speak about others rarely and yourself even more. Rarely, because the less you say about yourself, the larger you become in their imagination. The mysterious are never forgotten. They can't be. The mind can't release what it hasn't understood. So you become a loop that never closes, a thought that keeps returning, a presence that lingers even in absence. That's the aura. And it's built word by word, revelation by withheld revelation. Sixth principle, command through stillness. Movement is noise. Stillness is authority. Watch any powerful figure, politicians, CEO, the ones who've truly mastered presence. They don't fidget. They don't rush. They move as though every gesture costs something valuable, and they're only spending when necessary. The dangerous aura requires physical and psychological stillness. When you're still, you force others to move around you. You become the center of gravity. The room orients to you, not the other way around. This is primal psychology. In nature, the predator waits. The prey moves nervously. When you're still, you signal predator energy. When you're restless, you signal prey. Your stillness should be comfortable, not rigid, alive, not frozen. You're not performing calmness. You're embodying it. When someone speaks to you, let them finish. Don't lean in eagerly. Don't nod excessively. Receive their words like a wall receives rain, present but unmoved. When you respond, pause first. Let your silence make your words heavier. Then speak at your own pace, not theirs. They'll adjust to you. They always do. Robert Greene understood that perception of strength comes from the absence of visible effort. The one who seems to struggle is seen as weak. The one who seems effortless is seen as powerful. Stillness communicates effortlessness, and effortlessness communicates dominance. Seventh principle, make your absence felt. This is the one most people miss entirely. Presence is only powerful when contrasted with absence. If you're always available, always present, always reachable, you become common. And nothing common is ever dangerous. The dangerous cultivate strategic absence. They disappear. Sometimes they're unreachable. Sometimes they withdraw without explanation and return without apology. And in that absence, their value compounds. Robert Greene wrote, "What is easily obtained is cheaply regarded." Availability is a form of cheapening yourself. Every time you respond immediately, You signal that nothing in your life is more important than their message. Every time you're present at every gathering, you signal that your presence costs nothing. Withdraw, not with drama, with quietness. Let them wonder where you are. Let them feel the gap you leave. Let conversations happen about you while you're not there. Because the talked about absent person has more power than the ignored present one. This isn't game playing, it's value preservation. You're not infinite. Your time isn't infinite. Your energy isn't infinite. Treat them as the scarce resources they are, and others will start doing the same. The dangerous aura is partly built in absence. Because what can't always be seen becomes impossible to forget. Here's what Robert Greene knew that most will never understand. The dangerous aura is not about being dangerous. It's about being so deeply self-possessed that others cannot locate your breaking point. They search for it. They test for it and they find nothing. That's what makes you dangerous. Not violence, not cruelty, not aggression, inscrutability, completeness. The sense that you are a closed circuit, generating your own power, needing nothing from them that they have the ability to withhold. Most people are walking around with their wiring exposed. Anyone can reach in and flip their switches. Anyone can access their shame, their fear, their need for approval. And once accessed, those people are controlled. The dangerous have learned to seal themselves not from emotion, not from connection, from dependency. They've built internal sovereignty, so complete that external circumstances become weather, not foundation. You can build this. It will cost you convenience. It will cost you the comfort of being fully known. It will cost you some relationships that only existed because you were easy to access. But what you'll gain is something most people never experience. The feeling of walking into any room, any situation, any chaos, and knowing that nothing there has power over your internal state. That no one present can shake what you've built. That your silence is louder than their noise. That's the dangerous aura, and now you know how to build it. The question isn't whether this works. The question is whether you'll implement it. Most won't. Most will watch, agree, and change nothing. They'll remain forgettable. They'll remain controlled, but you've made it this far. That means something different lives in you. Something that refuses to be dismissed. Something that knows you were built for more than being overlooked. Let that something win. If this shifted something in you, stay connected. Subscribe to this channel. Because what we're building here isn't motivation. It's architecture. The architecture of a mind that cannot be broken. A presence that cannot be ignored, and an aura that makes the world step aside when you walk through. The dangerous don't announce themselves, they arrive.